Hello and welcome to Stampin' Chat. Long time no see. It's been a busy household. Right, I'm first going to check that I am live in the right place. You'll have to bear with me. I've got a tickly cough and the sniffles, which I've had for almost 2 weeks now. It doesn't seem to be wanting to make a disappearance. So thank you for those of you that have expressed concerns as to why I've not been doing my regular lives or uploading to YouTube. But basically, in a nutshell, my son and his girlfriend have separated and the grandchildren have been living with us for almost 2 months now. So having time to do my general work and come live has been very challenging, we shall say. But today I've got an opportunity. There are no children here in the house and here I am live. I'd prepared some stuff. I had a few hours. I do get a bit of time to myself, but during that time I'm planning for classes and stuff. So the time to prepare and plan to go live, there hasn't been enough time. So, but anyway, here I am today. Let's hope moving forward that it won't be such a long absence since I was last here. I can't even think how long. It might have been a month. But yeah, so right, I'm live in the right place. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Renee. How are you all doing? I've got 2 new stamp sets I'm creating with today. I could not decide when. I've had like very small amount of time slots over here in the studio, and when I've come over I've almost felt like overwhelmed if I've got all this new product to play with, and I've been sat here thinking like, what am I going to do? What do I start with? There's so many nice things I want to do. So I've picked combined two stamp sets, 2 lovely new ones. They're circle sayings and layering leaves. So I've got a couple of cards for you this morning, general kind of birthday cards using some new colours as well. So good morning, Margaret, how are you doing? Now it's half term here in Gloucestershire. I know surrounding areas you have a different week. You're either on half term last week or next week. But it is half term here in Gloucestershire. The sun has just decided to come out. I've still got my overshirt on because it's been really chilly. The wind, it's been really breezy and the wind is really cold. And when the sun's not out, it's definitely still jeans weather. It's not warm enough at present. So I'm hoping that the wind will drop. I've done 2 loads of washing this morning and they're out. So hoping that it's not going to stay too windy, but just a bit warmer, that wind becomes a little bit warmer. Okay, right, I think I'm going to put you down onto my desk. Let's just enlarge my screen so that I can hopefully read some comments. Okay, right, let's put you down on my desk. Bear with the palm of the hand. And see where we're at. It feels like an absolute age since I was here live. It's got to be a month. It's got to be. Of course, I was scheduled to come live. Plans changed, and then I was hoping to try and squeeze you in during an evening that week. But quite honestly, with 3 children in the house, Vivi's just 5. Evsy's just 3 and Teddy's 20 months old. By the time they have all gone to bed and I have finished clearing away dinner and everything else, lunch boxes, I'm just too tired to do anything. So yeah, I can see why people have children young. I can see why I have my children young. So anyway, you can see 2 stamp sets. I've pulled this little sneaky bit of information out. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's get this grid paper down and you can see my 2 stamp sets I'm using today. And what I love about both of these sets is that we have coordinating punches, which is, for me, it's a win-win because I know you all love a punch. I can't even see my grid paper to see if it's straight. It looks very crooked now. So the circle sayings, we have the 2 3/8 circle punch that goes with that, getting a bit of a glare on that one. So a lovely big usable circle punch. And then the layering leaves has the bow punch, which is an old, I say an old one, we had another, I don't think we had an actual stamp that cut these out, but we had a stamp set, and my brain is quite honestly a complete mush at the moment. So you'll have to forgive me. So I don't remember what that actually went with, but it's retired now, but we have this lovely new layering leaves that goes with it. Good morning, Kate. How are you doing? Oh, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. When I will be back with you again, I do not know. But we shall just have to see. Is my grid paper anywhere straight? Who else is here? Morning, Lisa. How are you doing? Hope everybody is keeping well. So let's just get this grid paper taped down, because that's a good start. You all know how fussy in particular I am about having things just so, but I can see me moving everything in a minute. Right, 2 lovely photopolymer stamp sets as well, which I don't know why I'm showing you the back, should show you the inside. I adore photopolymer. Got this lovely 2-step system for this stamp set where you've got the outline, the inner piece, and then we've got, am I actually using this one? I'm looking at it and thinking, am I actually using this today? Yes, I am. I'm looking at, it's on the second card, I'm using this one. But you've got the infill here on the leaves, which is lovely. Got 2 different style leaves. But you've also got this one, which cuts out from this part of the punch as well, which is brilliant. So we've got those 2 lovely sets. I think I've mounted everything, so let's put those to one side. I'm using the new exposed brick embossing folder. Might be a little difficult for you to see that until I actually emboss some cardstock with it, but I love that. Got a couple of new embossing folders in my collection. I'll show you what colours we're using, and then I'll just talk to you about the paper sale. So we've got 2 new colours that I'm using here. Moody Mauve. Now, there is a bit of controversy about how we are pronouncing it, but for me, it's mauve. It's always been mauve, and it always will be mauve. So take it as you want. Sit there and have a chuckle, but that's how it is for me. We've got Bubble Bath and Old Olive. I've pulled out some blends as well. I've got my new Moody Mauve Stampin' Blends, Bubble Bath pens, and also I've got Crumb Cake Light. I've got my black Memento, because we always use that when we are colouring in. Good morning, Lisa. How are you? You've got half term. You haven't done anything yet. Mark's twisted his ankle and he's got a horrible cold. Yeah, it's doing the rounds, isn't it? Not a great start to half term. Definitely not. Definitely not. No, I've had this started with a sore throat, and then it's just turned to like a rotten tickly cough, and I'm a bit sniffy. And I did wonder whether it was like some kind of hay fever, but I don't think you get a tickly cough with hay fever. So I think it's just a bit of lurgy, and everybody keeps telling me that I'm run down because I'm just not getting much rest at the moment. So I'm just having a wipe up of my table. I can see a grubby mark, coffee stain, where I've just had a coffee. Yeah, so I'm just keeping myself super busy, and I'm probably not helping to get better because there's just no rest up. So, right, we are having a designer series paper sale starting the 1st of June for the whole of June, so 1st to the 30th, and we've got 15% off all of these shown here, and they are from page 129, I'll grab my catalogue, to 132. So all of these, I don't know what you can see in shot, all of these, and these as well, which slightly scare me how bright they are. I I have that one, it's gorgeous. You've seen it. Excuse me. So we've got 15% off, so that's coming on the 1st of June. Good morning, Lucianne. How are you doing? You've got half term as well, I'm guessing. So let's start with the first kits. I've pulled out, I'm going to grab my, talking of DSP, this tickly cough is going to drive you insane. Believe me, it's been driving me insane, but I'm going to try not to cough. I'm going to try and ignore it. So these are the in colour papers. They are gorgeous. I'm using some of the Moody Mauve today. Does anyone pronounce mauve the same as me? Good morning, Belle. Great to see the online exclusive papers are included in the offer too. Right, what have I missed on there? Where have I even just put that? Oh, my brain. What's on here that's in the online? Oh, the Hello Irresistible. It would be that one, wouldn't it? Good plan. Yeah, that is a good idea. It does say, I hadn't noticed that, so thanks for pointing that out, Belle. I've missed a lot of things lately. Online exclusives, it says here. Okay, don't forget about those online exclusives. There's a couple of stamp sets on my shelf that you may have thought have retired. I'm going to grab them, but they have actually, they're not in the annual catalogue anymore. They were in the mini, but they've actually made their way onto the online exclusives. So I will still be using these. So if you're searching for them, that's where you'll find them. Sadly, the dies aren't on there, which is a bit of a shame, but excuse me, I guess we can't have everything, can we? Right, let's get to crafting because I don't know how long my voice is going to keep out. So, Kate, you pronounce the same as me. Lisa, you do as well, yeah. Well, it's glad to know I'm not the only one. Belle, I know you say it differently. I guess it's regions that we come from, isn't it? Right, we've got a basic white base. Gonna fold it down the middle and got 2 layers that we're going to sit on top of here. But I think I might just do some stamping first. Let's do this embossed layer just so I can show you how gorgeous it is. Let's move my plates around. So the exposed brick, it's a textured like 3D. It's quite a thick embossing folder. Obviously doesn't fit in the mini machine, but it's kind of like, it's like a brick wall, as it says, exposed brick with like a texture running through it. So depending on where you line it in, you're going to get either more texture or more brick. Let's go to the left because there's more brick over there. I just like to line it up. So you can probably see it better now, the paper's in there. It's gorgeous. This isn't just a masculine embossing folder because it's brick. Don't think of that at all. It's perfect for lots of different occasions, male, female. It's just, to me, it's another good all-rounder. It can get used on anything. It's lovely. Guessing it will work equally well both ways. This way the bricks kind of pop out differently. So I think I quite like it that way. Don't know if you can see that, but Belle, you've got your own excuse me, dialect, Bristol versus Welsh. Let's have a drink. Sorry guys. Typical, isn't it? Get an opportunity to go live and then I'm coughing and spluttering at you. So those are going to layer together on our card. Let's do a little bit of stamping. Now, as we're using photopolymer, we will be needing our foam mat and some bit of scrap grid paper on there. I've used the other side to almost beyond usage, so it's time to turn it round. And this, you probably remember, but this pad of grid paper retired, which I was really sad about, and I missed out on getting any before it went, so super sad. Right, let's do a little bit of stamping. I need another bit of scrap. So from the, let's put those to one side. From the circle sayings, I've pulled out this Celebrate stamp here, which you can obviously see works with the punch. Now, these are shown only at 85%, so these images are a lot smaller than they are in real life. Hopefully you can see from that the difference. But these all are designed to work lovely with the circle punch, which is fabulous. So I'm going to use this little cupcake. I've seen lots of things done with this cupcake, but I'm literally going to stamp it and colour it. Just in its pure simplicity. I've seen paper piecing done with it, lots of different things. So we're just going to stamp. I'm going to stamp a few because I need to do some thank you cards for orders and stuff. So, I mean, today is my only day in the studio this week. I've got all 3 children coming back this evening and it's half term, so I will not be back in here. So between now and about 6 p.m, I'm going to be like a woman on a mission, trying to get as much done as I can. How was Jay's racing on the weekend? Yes, thank you, Belle. I was lucky to get a weekend away with Jason. He went to Silverstone, so he had 2 wins in his class. And they basically mix the racing up. There's like 2 or 3 different groups that go out on the grid in one go. Let's bring that back in. I'm going to set that aside to 1 minute just to dry out. And unfortunately, both of his races, he had safety cars, which just slows everything down, bunches everybody up. And it's not like real racing. When you're sat, you lose, like, it's a 20-minute race. Normally it's 15, but they had 20 minutes this time. And for what it costs for that 20 minutes, it's crazy, horrendous. But yeah, probably half of that, they sat behind 7 minutes or so. They sat behind a safety car, which isn't fun. But, you know, it is what it is. Safety car is there for a reason. So, but yeah, he won both of his races, so more trophies to come home with. More trophies that go, just make a point here, that go straight in the workshop downstairs. I do not have them in the house anymore because they just take over. So yeah, he did really well, really well. Car, had a few problems with the car and qualifying on Saturday, but he sorted that problem. Our friends that we went with blew their car up in qualifying, so didn't even get to race the whole weekend, which was really sad. But they stayed because we were parked up together, and we had a lovely barbecue on Saturday. It was, again, it's always windy at Silverstone, so it was quite chilly there. Sun was out, but quite chilly. But just lovely to get away. It was a nice change of scenery for me because that's the first time I've sort of been away in like 8 weeks at least. Right, I'm going to ink up, I've inked up this circle greeting in Moody Mauve. I'm going to stamp it down. Let's push my Mac out of the way, give myself a bit of space. And then we're going to take the punch. There's something about this punch, it feels different. I think it's because it's such a large circle. And I'm just going to punch out. Line that in as best as I can to get it centrally, because that's quite important. If you get it slightly off, it's going to sort of detract the eye. Lovely crisp punch. And you know, Belle, I packed myself a bag of stuff to take with me. I strategically packed stuff that I could plan for classes for next month. And I thought I'd do some planning as well, because I've got lots of planning. I've got a retreat coming up in October, which sounds like a million miles away, but with very little time to work at the moment, I'm just going to grab any time that I can to start planning on it. I didn't do any stamping or anything in the camper. I literally had pen to paper and did planning. So it was productive, but I kind of spent the time chatting with people, which I kind of needed. So, right, I've punched out that circle. Next, I think we can do a little bit of, we'll do our greeting and then we'll do a little bit of colouring. So I've taken a strip of basic white, and in the circle sayings, we've got some really nice greetings in here. We've got a warm hello, because you're awesome, which some of you will find a bit slushy, but I can think of plenty of people that I can send a note to with that sentiment on. We've got smile today, happy birthday, thinking of you, sending you a smile, thank you, and then we've got the celebrate one, which kind of covers all the bases. So a really good kind of all-rounder. Let's pull back in our mat, open up the old olive, and we're just going to stamp that one down like that. Really sweet mixed font greeting. I love it. I'm gonna have to blow my nose, sorry guys. And I've pulled in, I just love this at the minute. You know me, I just love it all. I buy what I love, but this is outstanding. It's an awesome die set. It goes with the Timeless Arrangement stamps, which is equally awesome. You've got all these fabulous greetings on here. And I'm going to be using this for my classes next month. But in here, you've got these 3 lovely, like, framed rectangles. So I'm going to take that medium-sized one and just cut it out. A bit of washi. Let's just line it in. Still a bit of washi tape stuck on there from before. It's quite hard to line up when you can't see above it. And I'm going to run that through that way. If you run it through that way, it will be harder to turn the handle. So if you run it that way, you've got a shorter edge to get the rollers over. So it will be much easier for you. And we get this gorgeous, like, dotted border with little crosses, which is lovely. It's divine. Very kind of just a lovely, not necessarily just for a greeting. You could use these to create backgrounds with, but just really lovely, because you know how I love like a dotted edge or a dashed edge, just to kind of finish everything off. Right, let's make some room on my seat. Let's put these away for a moment. They don't stay away for long, those papers. Sadly, they're not in the sale. The like the Colour Family ones have not made it into the sale. Right, let's grab the pens back out. Do some really, really simple colouring. So we'll start with the top of the cupcake. And I've used my Moody Mauve. So I'm going to start with a light. Just going to colour the whole thing. And I'm finding at the minute, I can't see very well. I don't know whether my eyes have taken a turn for the worse, or whether it's just because I'm tired. but my glasses don't seem to be very effective at the moment, and it wasn't that long ago, well, it doesn't seem that long ago that I had them tested on new glasses. And then I'm going to take the dark and literally where Stampin' Up have put the lines, I'm just going to add some like shadow to add a little bit of depth. The actual sponge of the cupcake I'm just going to colour in crumb cake, because that's quite a good kind of like spongy colour. And then the cupcake base, I've used Bubble Bath, because I'm also using Bubble Bath cardstock on my cards. So I'm just going to colour the whole of the base in. I hope this has had long enough to dry, because there are lots of, like, as you can see, lots of lines on here. So it's quite a pale pink, that light colour. And I'm just going to add like a little bit of shadow, maybe down the one side under the top bit. You know me, I'm no genius when it comes to colouring. I will just, oh no, take the light and just fill in that little bit where the cupcake goes, the case goes around the back of the cupcake. So that's colouring done. Nothing, never anything very extravagant with me with colouring, but it's enough. I've done the job. It's coloured in. Now there is no die set that goes with this. Obviously it's on a bundle with the punch, so we'll just trim around. This is what I'm finding hard at the minute, doing sort of close-up things, colouring and cutting out, and I'm feeling just generally like my eyesight is not good at the moment. Maybe I should get another test done. Okay, so we've got that cute little cupcake. So what has everybody been up to at the weekend? We had a nice barbecue last night. I managed to, it was the first night, I think it was the first night in 8 weeks that we've been at the house with not one child here, apart from Luca. Sophie and Alex came with little Luca. But anyway, we had a barbecue last night, managed to find a little bit of time to do some weeding at the back end of the house, which was lovely, because my peonies will be ready to bloom very soon, and the alliums are already, they're not very big, they've started to open up, but it was just really, it was a lot of weeds down there, so I made a start on that last night, so maybe I'll get to finish it later, we shall see. I won't hold my breath though. It's really difficult here in the daytime, like those of you that have been here, we've got a lovely garden, big garden, but with small children, the girls are okay, they're quite safe up there, but Teddy's such an adventurer at 20 months. You know, as soon as the doors are open, he's like out, he's escaped. So constantly, if we're outside, I've just got to be behind him all the time just to make sure he's okay, because we have a stream that runs through the garden and then a bridge at one end that's a wooden bridge. It's quite safe to go over, but it's just got rails on it, and I don't really like him going over it on his own, so it just makes it a little bit trickier. So, you know, doing any garden duties and things like that are pretty impossible when they're around. So anyway, let's see what else. Oh, I've used another die set. You're not going to love me for this today. I've used 2 die sets and 2 punches. But the countryside corners, I don't even remember if I created with this for you. I think I have. So it goes with the countryside corners stamp set. but this is equally a standalone die set. It's great on its own. You don't need the stamps, but I would recommend both. They work so lovely together. And then of course we've got those gorgeous papers that goes with them. So I just want to cut one of these, probably that one. To layer up. Right, I'm just going to run that through quickly. Coughing while I'm not right under the microphone. So I've just cut that one out. I've got a little strip of the DSP and I've cut this at 1 inch deep, and I've cut it at 3, I believe. Yeah, I've cut it at 3 so that I've got an equal piece left the other side, so because it's 6 by 6 paper. So let's start mounting up and then we can start building this card. Let's hope the Tombow is having a good day. Yep. So what did we do yesterday? We did a bit of work in the morning and then we whizzed to the garden centre to get some bits. Then came home, had a barbecue. Jason's dad came round as well, so it was nice to see him. He's not very well actually. He is off to start some chemo this morning, so yeah, it's just like all going on. So hoping that first session goes well for him. But yeah, we had a lovely barbecue last night, and I'm kind of, these days I'm ready for bed at 9 o'clock. I did manage 10 o'clock last night. Some of my lovely team came round last week and I managed till just after 10 o'clock to stay awake, so which is good. But it's a long old day. It's a long old day. Right, bubble bath. It's lovely. I say pale pink, but it is, to me it is quite bright. But I'm going to lay this one down lower, more towards the bottom than to the top of my card. Yeah, obviously it's not a hot pink, it's not a fuchsia. Is that straight? Because it needs to be straight. I mean, it's definitely a subtle pink, but how lovely does it team with the moody mauve? Right, let's start putting these pieces together. I think then we'll pop on our spotty layer. I'm not seeing any more comments. I don't know if that's just because you're not talking. You're just listening, doing other stuff. I know what it's like. Multitasking. Life's too busy, isn't it, to do just one thing at a time, to try and do what we can when we can. I'm just going to lay that one down at the bottom. I love the spotty side of this paper. Then I'm going to layer up. Got a new sheet of dimensionals. Layer up with some minis. I think that'll do. Balance it out. And I'm going to have it so you can have it anyway. You could have the Celebrate either side, but I'm going to have it so the Celebrate is at the top. And just lay that down on top of that bubble bath label frame. Label frame? Frame or label. As I said, whatever comes out of my mouth at the minute, please take it as with a pinch of salt, because my brain's just not engaged. It's not engaged at the best of times. We all know that. Come on. Right, let's pop this little cute little cupcake, which works for celebrations, birthdays, all kinds of different different things. Belle, you're mesmerised by what I'm crafting. Yeah, I know it does happen, doesn't it? We kind of just get in the zone. Right, I'm going to lay that one down here. So I don't want a dimensional at the top. So we'll just put a couple along the bottom. Oh, and I've put that one on the wrong side. Duh, see? It's upside down and it threw me. And then we'll just pop that one down below the cupcake. Excuse me. And then to finish, we'll add a bow. Let's just straighten that out a little bit. Now I'm just going to roughly tie one because I want this to be a double. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces the same length. And then just tie them together. Twist him round the other way and I don't want it to do that. Alf is snoring at my feet. He's enjoying there but having no children around today because he doesn't get much rest at the moment. Right, I'm faffing, sorry. Kind of want them to be the same length. Let's just snip off those. Might make them a little bit smaller. Just pinch and pull. Oh my goodness, how much longer is she going to faff with this bow? Done, finished, promise. Take a glue dot. And I think I'm just going to plop it right there by the cupcake. Make some room. And there we go. I didn't really feel the need to add any bling or gems to this one. I thought I would just leave it as it is. And my next card is kind of a variation on this, sort of like stepped up slightly, just using more of the dies. But I've got some new embellishments. Where they are is another question. Let me think what colours we have. Oh, they're more fresh freesia. Look at these, aren't they delicious? So these are the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. And then these are the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. So love a bit of bling, don't we? So lovely embossed background, which just takes, you know I love my white space, but that just takes away the plainness of it. So there we go, first card done. My first one is virtually identical. Waffled for a long time, so I hope you've got time for me to do another. But of course we've got the catch up on YouTube. We'll aim to get this up there today. So you like the spots as well, but I know, what is it about spotty things that I am just drawn to? Just adore them. Right, so we've got our base layer, basic white again. This time my first layer is going to be Moody Mauve. Thank you, Kate, for loving my card, and Lisa as well. Thank you. So let's just fold this one in half. We're going to need another cupcake. And let's colour that in really quickly. Don't you just love our blends? You know how much I rave about our Stampin' blends. I did get the new in colour ones, apart from Pebbled Path, because it's quite dark. I find it tricky, this is light, isn't it? Yeah. Tricky colouring with dark blends. I don't know why. But they're just brilliant. If you're no artist like me, just a simple bit of colouring, bit of shading. You could properly blend this if you were much better at colouring. You could properly blend it. It would look lovely. But I think it looks good enough to just simply slap a bit of colour on it, add a bit of like highlight, a bit of shadow. Right, bubble bath light. Remember to do those little bits this time. I'm literally going to colour in the whole of the what case? The cupcake case. Excuse me. And it will just add a little bit of dark around the top and down the one side. Like that. So really quick and easy colouring. I need to cut that one out. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. Lovely comments. Hear an aeroplane going over. It sounds like a small one. Sorry, I was cutting out of view then. So I think I was going to check how much this Circle Sayings bundle was, because when we have a stamp and a punch bundle, they're always such great value. Obviously the layering leaves is not on a bundle because the punch was already with us. We got here, this is Circle Sayings. £39.50 gets you the stamp set and the punch, and the punch is just super usable. Hello Louise, how are you doing? Thank you. It's nice to be back crafting live for sure. There is the bow punch. Okay, just there in the middle. We've got quite a few punches in our collection now. And then page 168, that's the exposed brick embossing folder. So I've got a couple more on my list. Thanks to Belle, who brought this geometric patterns to team training. I think I need to have that as well. But yeah, some lovely ones. You know how I love an embossing folder. It just gives that wow, doesn't it? It's like a simple wow. Right, what else should we stamp? Let's do our Celebrate again. So with the Moody Mauve, stamp that one down. And we're going to do another happy birthday. So in the old olive. I will just point out, talking about my retreat earlier, I'm now full. So if you were considering joining us, it's a little late. I do always consider doing like an online version, but I'd need enough interest to justify the hours it would take to create PDFs, because we do a lot of projects, a lot. Those of you that have been to my retreats, you don't get much rest, guys. So, I mean, there's opportunities for you to finish stuff at home, of course. But I always make sure you've got plenty to keep you going. Right, let's trim this one out in the middle. If we just had a shake under the table then, and I saw my phone wobble in my peripheral. It's not quite central, but it's okay. I think we'll get away with it. Then the other thing I need to emboss this. I'm going to use the gorgeous Countryside Corners dies. I'm going to cut myself a little frame. Using 2 of the dies. So just to show you like how they nest. Let's get some tape. Because my plate's a little bendy, it bends the dies as they go through. So let's tape the outer one first. Oh. And then pop this one. Got washi tape stuck all around them. That is the pitfall of using washi tape to hold everything down. Until we get a magnetic plate back, I just tape everything so it doesn't move. Can't see directly above this, but I think that's okay. I'll run that through quickly. I haven't got a scrap of white paper here, so hopefully it hasn't marked, my grubby plates hasn't marked it too much. Just get that bit off of there. Flatten them out, ready for next use. Oh, I need another one actually. I need another one of those. So I've just cut like a frame. So I'm not going to use that piece. That will get used for something later. But I want to cut myself another one of those. I have booked my place for Backstage, which is a leaders conference in August in Las Vegas. So that is something to look forward to, although I just feel slightly anxious about getting away anywhere at the moment, but I'm sure that will only get better as things move forward with family and children and stuff. So yeah, something to kind of look forward to. And I am away racing with Jason next month, going off to Zandvoort near Amsterdam. So yeah, all happening. That I will be definitely doing lots of planning on that trip, because he won't be allowing me too much room to take a load of crafting and stuff with me. So I'll take stuff to do a little bit, but I'm gonna have to plan ahead. And it's always great to take your mini cut and emboss machine when you're going off on your travels, isn't it? So I'll be planning projects around that, dies that will fit on that. Right, so we've got a little bit more stamping to do. I need to emboss this layer. With the exposed brick. Let's go this side this time. Get a different background every time we move it around. I love it in this colour. such a lovely colour. I know some of you have said to me that the Moody Mauve is definitely growing on them, and it's like everything. The more you kind of use it, the more you love it. But you've got to kind of start to like it in the first place, because if it's a colour that you really don't love, you're never going to love anything that you create with it. But I'm finding it nice, sort of teaming it with different colours as well. I'm enjoying the process of finding those colour combos that I'm going to sort of fall in love with. Right, let's get a scrap. I need my old olive ink. You can go out of the way. And I adore this leaf. So we're going to start off just by outlining. I'm not going to do black. I'm going to do it in, let's think first about how it's going to punch out. I'm going to do it in the colour, and then I'm going to add colour in the middle of it. What I mean is I'm not going to stamp it in black and colour it with a pen. I'm going to use my old olive. So I want to put my paper in that way. So I'm going to stamp it that way. I'm going to do 2 because I want to. And then my infill, I'm going to ink up in the old olive, but I'm going to stamp it off and just lay it straight over. If I was directly above, I could see better. Oh, that's not bad. I love this look. So this is just stamped off old olive that gives that sort of two-tone effect to this. How beautiful is that? And then the simplicity of a punch. Just going to line it straight in. Oh, I'm trying to line. You know how I like things to be just so. Don't want that. Definitely don't need that little bit for this project. But a great infill. Let's get rid of you. If I cut one out fully there. Oops. These are like great at infilling little gaps when you're creating stuff. So we've got our 2 lovely layering leaves. That is what it's called, isn't it? Yeah, layering leaves. We'll add a bit of curl to them, because a leaf always needs to be brought to life, even if it is just paper. Talking of leaves and things, I have tried to do some kitchen gardening this season, but let's just say it's failing big time. There hasn't been time to maintain the garden properly. So I did grow some veggies from seeds. They were doing okay, and then we had that sort of really cold evening spell. I put out some runner beans and some courgettes and some butternut squash. Like, had a bit of time. Was it last weekend before? And then we had a couple of cold evenings, and they really didn't like it. And I think I might have lost them. I'm still watering them, hoping that the runner beans will come back, because they're looking a bit brown and sad at the moment. So it is what it is. If I have to give my garden a year off, then I will. That's totally fine. You know, family has to come first. They're more important than anything else. So that's totally fine. I can have another go next year. I've got some potatoes in, and they are doing well at the moment. And I've got some tomatoes and cucumber seeds growing, but they're not looking so good in the greenhouse. But again, it's been kind of chilly at night, but we've had a couple of incredibly sort of warmish days. Just mounting up this frame with some mini dimensionals. So yeah, it kind of like, it is what it is this year. You know, we may have to put off a few things. We were going to be doing a bit of work in the barn, putting in some bifold doors, ripping a window out, put a bigger stone mullion in, but with children living here, I'm not sure it's the right thing to be doing. Could be slightly disruptive and make it even harder work. So yeah, we might have to just put that on hold for another year as well, but that's fine. Right, let's stick this layer down first. As much as I would love the bifolds in at present so that we can see more into the garden down at the snug end of the house. That looks a bit wonky, my wall, but there's nothing we can do about it now. I mean, if it's anything like our house, the walls aren't straight, the bricks aren't straight, so. Right, we're going to take, got the other half of that DSP strip. I mean, the stripe is quite nice, isn't it? It's like a random stripe. Let's show you the reverse. It's like brush stroke stripes. Cool, say that one after a couple of porn star martinis. I did make myself a porn star martini last night. I was like, I've got no children in the house. We're having a barbecue. I've got all the ingredients. I'm going to make myself one, so I did. I'm gonna pop that one down at the bottom. And by the way, Belle, my peonies you bought me are beautiful. I did pop something up on my stories on the gram, but when I finished, I'll send you a photo of them. They look gorgeous. I went around the garden and cut some greenery off some bushes and put them in the vase, and they have just blossomed. My Tombow is sort of warning me it's on its last legs. So I'm just going to pop this frame bang in the centre. There's a fly buzzing around as well, like that. And then my circle is going to go on top here. So I need to just pop a couple. Of dimensionals about there, and a bit of Tombow on the edge of the frame just to anchor it down. And then we'll do it the same. We'll have that celebrate at the top of the circle. Like that. Pop our little cupcake in. So I'm going for more dimensionals here. I just really don't care how much it costs to post a card. If it's just a one-off, it's okay, isn't it? If I was making 20 of these and posting them, I would definitely be more conservative about how many layers of dimensionals I'm adding. But as a one-off, if it's got to go as a large letter, that's fine by me. Up a little bit. A little bit higher. That's better. Love that cupcake. You did see the peonies. Yeah, they're beautiful, thank you. Even Sophie came yesterday and said, oh Mum, they are gorgeous. Just lovely. Lovely and bright. And as you said, I've got plenty of greenery around here to go with. Worked well. Blooming fly buzzing. Right, we'll just add in our greeting. Put a little bit of Tombow on there. And just so it touches that bit of DSP, I think. Just wondering where Alfie is. It's gone quiet. Let's have a quick look out the window. He won't be far. I just don't, when the sun's out, I don't like him lying down in the hallway, because even though it's cool down there, when the sun comes in, he just lies in the direct sun. Daft dog. Right, let's check these are going to slide under before we start putting them in. Might need to snip off the ends, that would be a good start. I think that one will be okay. Let's put that one in first. Sorry, waffling to myself. That's the trouble when you're here on your own. I know I'm not alone because you're here, but I am kind of talking to myself. Right, I want that one just to go under. I need it to go in a bit. Let's pull that bottom up. That's it. Start to lift that bottom layer up a bit. There we go. And I left that one at that. I couldn't decide whether, whoops, just unravelled, whether I needed a bow or not on this one. Just couldn't decide. Maybe I'll do one and we'll see. See if it needs it. We'll do it double as well because it needs to stand out. My ribbon stash has diminished since we've had a new catalogue, so had a lot of ribbons retire. I'm gradually replacing. I've got the in-colour ones to show you actually. So that's something else that's on my radar of things I need to do is my ribbon share. I've got the products here. I've got some of them on my desk. I just need to sort out what's going in the share and sort out the finances, what it's going to cost, and then I can get it advertised. So that will go on my VIP group first. Let's pull one of those tails and they will get first chance. There. I was kind of thinking, no, so I think this is what I faffed with before. I thought it was just too much with the foliage. To bow or not to bow is the question. Kate, you think you prefer it without a bow? As I've got the leaves, yeah, and I think that's what I thought when I designed it, that it was just going to be like too much of a distraction. We'll save that for the cards I make later. So there we go. Card number 2 done. That's me done. It's my original, pretty much the same. Bit of bling maybe. Could pop bling on those little dots. Could pop a bit of bling on the top of the cup of cake. So what else have I got? I've got something to share. Show you one of the other cards we did at team training using this. This was something we did. So similar-ish design, but I've actually used the Petal Park stamps for the flowers. I've brought in Lost Lagoon, so I love Lost Lagoon with Moody Mauve, and then we've got the bubble bath on the centre of the flower. Got the splat there from the layered leaves. You know how much I love a splat, and look at the size of that one. It's lovely. So a little bit more inspo with that one. Excuse me. Let's just grab my in-colour bits. So I just need to figure out how much of what I'm including with this. But look at these lovely ribbons. So that's all 5 colours. It's called textured ribbon. It's 1 centimetre wide. So lovely. And then we've got some, what are these called? Oh, the in-colour dots. How lovely are these? There are some more at the top under there. Got all 5 colours. Don't really show. Got the pebbled path ones up there, but how lovely are they? So you've got 3 different sizes of each one. Then of course we've got the in colour paper, so you'll get some of that in the share. You'll get some of the cardstock, so this is a multi-pack there with all the colours in. And then I also grabbed the treat bags. Yeah, they are called treat bags, just because you know I love to package things, but these are lovely. So this is the boho blue. They're a nice, they're not super thick, but they're a nice weight, but just great for packaging. Again, look, you've got the 5 in colours, so you'll be getting some of those in the share as well. So yeah, I just need to, I've got to just, life at the minute, I have to prioritise what is the most important, and at present is getting projects designed, ready for classes, and getting kits prepared to go out in the post and stuff like that. So it's just, I'm having to learn to prioritise on what I do, and some things just have to take, you know, a little side step, a little back step. So anyway, it's been lovely spending time with you this morning. Thank you all for joining me. If you are joining on the replay on YouTube, please do say hello. I will endeavour to reply to you at some point soon. I hope you've enjoyed the project. I feel this could just move forward in so many different ways. I can see gift boxes with this cupcake on, lots of different things. On my desk I've got some cute paper cups as well, kind of lemon lolly, that's a bit stronger than bubble bath, and kind of pool party. I've got a horrible sticker thing on the back, but I would cover that up with something. I could just see something nice done. And I've got these straws that Sophie got as well, because we had a party for Vivi. She was 5 last month. But look how gorgeous these paper straws are. So these are sat on my desk waiting for something to create. So I can see cupcakes kind of going well with those things as well. So right, I'm going to love you and leave you, grab myself a coffee and get set to work because time is running away. So hello Jill, how are you doing? I need to send you some details as well. I must do that. I'll try and remind. So it's been lovely to be back. Thank you for joining me. Been lovely to be here. So, but on that note, I really must go and carry on designing, carry on stamping, and make the most of what day I have left. So thank you so much for being here and for bearing with me. I hope to be back as soon as I can, and it could be that it's short notice like today, because sometimes I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get on here. So anyway, I'll love you and leave you, and take care everybody, and bye for now. Thank you.